So here are the best weapons, armor, horse, saddles, and other items hidden in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Starting with armor. This isn't the #1 undisputed best armor in the game, but it is pretty dang close, and you can get it at the beginning portion of the game towards the start in Trotsky, which I think is crazy because this is definitely, or at least some of it, is end game armor. Like here, I'll compare the helmet, the Italian bassinet, to the actual best helmet in the entire game that you can't get until basically end game, and it's barely worse. The arms are insane too, just barely worse than the best in the game. Same with the chest piece, the cuirass. At least these specific pieces you can stick to for these body parts for really the rest of the game with zero issues. I would replace a couple of these pretty quickly, like the chainmail, for example. There's definitely better chainmail out there. You want long is like the best you can get, and a gold tier of it really is like the absolute pinnacle of the best chainmail you want. Some of the stuff he has, like the coif. How do you say that?
Quaff is how you say it.
the padded coif. That thing's crap, so you'll probably find a better version of that. You might already have a better version, but we really just at least want the chest, the helmet, the arms, and legs. The gauntlets are pretty good too, but for the most part, this is some of the best armor you can get, and it's insane that you can get it early. So minor spoilers here if you haven't done like the first little objective before the wedding. I guess it could be spoilerish, but at the start of the game you're tasked with helping the blacksmith, who eventually sends you to look for his cart of goods. This initiates the quest called the Jaunt, where you, Gurney, and Lord Samin go on a journey and eventually run into a guy named Jules.
I didn't do nothing wrong, I swear.
Shut up, Francie. You both told me you'll bring me the cart.
After you finish up that quest, Jules will be lazying around the Samin fort near the horse trader, patrolling around or guarding an area, but you basically want what he's wearing, so you could lure him over somewhere and knock him out, but you don't have to do that at all. All we have to do is wait until night, around midnight or 1 AM, until everyone is sleeping. Jules's room is not in the main area where all the noble dudes sleep, but on the other side of the building near the big tree toward the stables, where you'll find a staircase leading upstairs in the same building Gurney sleeps in, but on the other side of it. You can see Jules taking a nice little nap here. If you think you can knock him out without making any noise, you can do that and then just loot the keys off of him, but it's much easier to just pickpocket him, take his keys, and open up the chest that was next to the doorway that we entered. You could lockpick it if you want, if you have the skill level, but it's a very hard lock, so using the keys is a lot easier so that you don't wake anyone up. Now just look at all of this beautiful loot, dude. You'll realize that some of the armor this dude's wearing is endgame loot from Kuttenberg that competes with some of the best armor that you can get, while other portions of it are pretty crap. But if you're doing this at the start, I mean, all of it's really good. The best thing about this is that you can do it over and over again. If you didn't know, NPC loot eventually respawns in about 2 to 3 in-game days. So I'll go to a tavern, wait time, and when I get tired, I'll sleep, and then wait some more time and just alternate that until it's been a couple of days and head back to Samin. Some of his loot will not respawn right away, but a large majority of it will, and a few of these pieces are worth a couple thousand groschen each. Are you gonna get that much for selling it? No, but you will get a lot, especially for the low amount of work that this takes. I made a video on the best horses you can get in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but I did not know about this easily missable horse who competes with the best horses in the game, and that is Meadow. He might actually be the best horse. A totally free horse you won't be able to get until you get to Kuttenberg, but as soon as you do, you can ride on over to this bandit camp here, directly west of Kuttenberg City. The bandits here can be kind of tough if you're not geared. I took the majority of them out with my crossbow from the bushes, and then handled the couple of stragglers left. But you could also just come here and steal the horse. No matter what you do, once you defeat the bandits, or if you just want to run up and get it, the horse will just be sitting next to the bushes. Once you steal the horse, you need to tame it, otherwise once you get off of it, it's going to run away, and you also won't be able to whistle for it. To do that, it's conveniently right next to us, right down the road next to Kuttenberg City, this horse trader guy that's on the outskirts of the city. If you talk to him, you can ask him about the black market, and if you bring a horse right up next to his desk, you'll be able to tell him the passcode that enables you to tame or sell the horse if you wanted to sell it. And taming Meadow costed me 500 groschen because I sold Pebbles, who is worth I think 1500 after earning her secret perk and unlocking her full potential. It might cost you 2000 groschen to be able to tame Meadow, so I guess she's technically not a free horse. She is, but she isn't. I guess it's up to you. I recommend checking out my best horse video if you want to see all like the different stats and differences between Meadow and the other best horses like Pebbles and Herring, who unlock secret perks that make them some of the best horses in the game, as well as Piece Lad, who is the best horse that money can buy, but Meadow is just as good as them, if not, maybe a little better. It's down to personal preference on which stats matter the most to you, but a lot of people consider Pebbles to be the best horse in the game, at least after you unlock the good old Pebbles perk for riding her a total of 35 kilometers. But Meadow is basically Pebbles, just slightly better in every stat except for speed. Pebbles is faster than Meadow by a single speed point, which you would never even notice. Granted, you can't get Meadow until much later in the game, but yeah, to be honest, you can't really go wrong with either one of those horses. Pebbles, Meadow, Herring, or Piece Lad. The best saddle for your horse is sort of a tie between the Dragon Saddle and the Krakowaian. They both will give you 200 carry capacity for your horse, which is tied for the highest. Both of these saddles are obtained in the Kuttenberg region from really any saddler, even some of the blacksmiths will carry them. And I believe the traders restock them like once a week, so if the saddle isn't there or the exact color you want isn't there, you might need to come back a few days later. But in the city, there's like a literal ton of different traders, so you should be able to find what you're looking for. Both of these saddles have a ton of different colors, like 10 to 15 each. So this is not the absolute best sword in the game, but possibly the best short sword, at least in the first region, that you can get 100% for free at the start of the game without smithing, and you can stick with it up to end game if you wanted. I mean, especially once you get the sketch for it, and that is the Noble's Sword. This would be even better if you could smith it, since you can grab the sketch from the blacksmith in Trotsky Castle, but it was bugged for me and would not give me the recipe for reading it while I was in Trotsky, at least for me and a lot of other people. But if you're having a similar issue, the sketches that you read don't actually give you the blueprint for it. Back at that bandit camp that we just went over where we got the Meadow horse, there's a chest there that has the Noble Sword sketch or blueprint. Like I said, I had already read the one at Trotsky Castle and every other blacksmith. Whenever they sold the Noble Sword, I grabbed it, bought it, and read it, but it wouldn't actually put the blueprint there. Once I read this one, it gave it to me. But you can get a free Noble Sword at the beginning of the game from a chest in Lord Samin's castle in Samin. You come here during the story, but you could also just sneak back in. And if you want to do it at night to not risk anything, head to the very top floor in the attic, hide in the corner, and wait until midnight or like 1 a.m. Now just head down one floor into the bedroom and snag it out of the locked chest. Since we're lockpicking, I mean, you could do this during the day when nobody's in the room if you're scared of getting caught, but the only downside to this sword is that it starts off heavily damaged. If you do end up getting that sketch from either the Trotsky Castle blacksmith, the one in Takov might also sell it, or that bandit camp in Kuttenberg, smithing this to the highest tier, the tier 4 variant, there are very few weapons as good as it. The Knight Sword is technically slightly better, but that's only if you could craft it. You get the Knight Sword recipe from blacksmiths like the one at Trotsky Castle, but it's just straight up broken. It doesn't work because it's currently bugged. If you're buying one, the Knight Sword is better though, and I'm sure the recipe issue will eventually be fixed, in which case the Knight Sword is the second best short sword in the game, only being beaten by a late game unique sword that you get from a quest.
Haven't you had enough?
This quest being the reliquary side quest that you can find to the north of Kuttenberg City along the tree line. At the nearby camp, you can find the humble knight who tasks you with finding Sir Valentine's sword.
Not far from here, in Sedlets, is buried Sir Valentine. Have you heard of him?
This will take you to a cemetery over here on the map. And I'm not going to spoil the quest any more than that, but you'll eventually get the recipe for Sir Valentine's sword as a reward, meaning you can craft it to tier 4, which makes it really strong. The best short sword in the game, so easily the best weapon in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But that's pretty much it. Leave a like and subscribe for more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 videos. See ya.
It's just, I liked it very much.
Yes, it was nice.
You don't sound very convincing.
Well, to tell you the truth, it wasn't that great.
Really?